Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Sadowski here to start off our Unit 6 in Benchmark. It's our Confronting Challenges. So everything that we're going to be reading in this unit is going to involve some sort of challenge, whether it is a quest that somebody needs to go on because they need to find something, or some sort of problem that they have with another character. There's some sort of challenge in every story. When you go inside, you can see our table of contents. We have 2 reads this week. We're going to do Rabbit and Coyote, as well as the Valiant Little Tailor. And what you're going to be looking at is how do these characters overcome their obstacles. So you can see this is our Valiant Little Tailor right here. We've got a rabbit from Rabbit and Coyote. And down here we have this little girl. She's Molly Whipple, I believe is her name, dealing with the king there. So, Molly Whoopie. And so she's going to have something to do with the king. But for this week, we're going to deal with Rabbit and Coyote first. And it's a very short read. As you can see, we've got, 5 paragraphs to this little story and a little bit of information up here at the top telling us about it. When you look at this, hopefully you're noticing the style of the illustrations. It's kind of more of that Mexican type artwork that you see down here. You've got the rabbit, the coyote. Both of these are desert animals. It's a desert setting. And what you're going to find is this is a folk tale. And it is, let's go ahead and give you this little background here. Rabbit and Coyote are familiar characters in the trickster tales of different cultures. In some versions, clever Rabbit escapes Coyote's plans to make a meal of him. In others, Rabbit simply enjoys outwitting Coyote and making him look foolish. This adaptation shows how gullible Coyote can be when it comes to Rabbit's tricks. So you may have seen Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote cartoons on TV. They come from the same types of things, these folk tales, which originated down in Mexico with Rabbit and Coyote as the main characters. So we're going to look to see what kind of problem there is, what challenge needs to be overcome. And we're also this week going to be paying attention to these characters. Now, today specifically, your job is to find the key events in this story, okay? This is the, first this happened, then this, next, finally, okay? See if you can retell this story with just 4 events. Here we go. This tale tells the story of Rabbit and Coyote. Rabbit came upon a big rock, and once there, he decided to deceive or trick Coyote. For Rabbit knew that foolish Coyote would fall for its trick. Sure enough, soon Coyote came by, and Rabbit leaned against the big rock. "What are you doing, brother?" Coyote asked Rabbit. Rabbit chuckled, and then said in a serious voice, "Come here quickly, brother, for the sky is falling down on us. You must lean against the rock, and then hold it up while I go search for a stick that will prop up the sky." Coyote, of course, agreed, and began holding up the rock with all his might, doing exactly what Rabbit had ordered him to do. Rabbit simply left Coyote holding the rock, and when Rabbit didn't return, Coyote shouted, "Come back, brother! The weight of the rock is making me tired!" But Rabbit did not come back. He ignored Coyote's pleas. Finally, Coyote gave up holding the rock and muttered, "I'm giving up holding up this rock, even if the sky will fall on us." But when he ran away, he fell into a ravine. Rabbit never came back, and poor Coyote was lost. After a while, however, he found Rabbit, and Rabbit was already planning another trick he could play on poor, foolish Coyote. Is Rabbit very nice? No, he likes to play tricks on Coyote. Coyote very smart? No, he fell for something like the sky is falling. Like the sky is going to fall on us, right? Pretty short story. So you should be able to go back and think about, what were those key events? What needed to happen for us to understand this story? Once you've done that, on your assignment today, when you pull it up in Google Classroom, it's going to look like this. It's going to remind you in the directions that you're reading Rabbit and Coyote, the story I just read with you. Annotate the text for key details, meaning you can literally go through and underline what were those key details. Or if you'd rather just kind of think about it and type them, that's fine too. Excuse me. So what you're going to do is to list your key events in sequence, meaning first, then, next, last, down in here. Now, it's a little weird because it has key events and it has a type here box and a type here box. This actually can be considered one big box. So I don't want you to think that you need key events and then some kind of different key events. You might put the first up here, and then, and your next, and then your finally, okay? So the creator of this document didn't have a way of making this come down. So if you just pretend that these lines came down like this and that these little lines weren't here, just envision this as one big box of the key events. Down below the summary, you need to think of one sentence, one well-written sentence that gives us the overall gist of the story. If you could tell me in one sentence, what was the story about? That's what you write here, okay? You might want to start with something like the tale, rabbit, and coyote is about, and then you go on to tell me what it was about, okay? Again, one sentence for this little summary box down here, because you will have already summarized the story with your first, then, next, and finally up at the top. When you get to the bottom of the page, it says which event begins the action. The action is when things are actually happening. Sorry for the pop-up there. For things happening. So Rabbit enjoys making Coyote look foolish. Is that the action? Rabbit tells Coyote that the sky is falling down. Rabbit tricks Coyote into holding the rock, or Coyote came by and saw Rabbit leaning on the rock. Which one really gets the action going? Alrighty, so you'll choose, and again, this will be a red circle. You just drag that over to go around the letter that you want. All right, boys and girls, happy working, and we'll see you next time.